You're watching MH Nation. Get the latest NBA news, transfer rumors, and match updates fast. Like, share, and subscribe to stay ahead of the game.
Welcome back to Lakers Motion, Lakers Nation. We've got another action-packed episode filled with the biggest Lakers headlines making waves across the NBA. Today, we're breaking down the latest reports on the Lakers' advanced trade talks for PJ Washington, the Blockbuster offer for Jonathan Kuminga, encouraging news about Russell Westbrook's NBA future, Anthony Davis's response to the latest LeBron James rumors, and several other major updates that every Lakers fan needs to know. Lakers make major offer to Jonathan Kuminga amid Timberwolves' pursuit. The Lakers thought they had the inside track on Jonathan Kuminga. Now, out of nowhere, a Western Conference contender just entered the chat, and it's forcing Los Angeles to make its boldest offer yet. Ever since late June, one storyline has dominated the Lakers offseason more than almost any other: the pursuit of Atlanta Hawks free agent Jonathan Kuminga. And for weeks, it's felt like a standoff with no end in sight. According to the California Post, the Lakers initially offered Kuminga a 2-year, $10 million contract. Kuminga turned it down flat, reportedly seeking a deal that would pay him at least $15 million annually. That gap opened the door for other teams to swoop in, and the Cleveland Cavaliers and Minnesota Timberwolves have both registered real interest. But rather than back off, the Lakers doubled down. The California Post now reports Los Angeles has come back with a significantly more lucrative multi-year offer, one that reportedly outpaces anything Minnesota can put on the table. The Lakers have reportedly offered Kuminga a considerably more lucrative multi-year contract than Minnesota can provide. Los Angeles would need the Atlanta Hawks to cooperate in a sign and trade, however, creating a complicated path to completing the deal, the report stated. Here's where it gets tricky. Because Kuminga remains restricted, any move to Los Angeles has to be executed as a sign and trade, and by rule, that agreement has to run at least 3 seasons. Per the report, the Lakers could offer Kuminga somewhere between $15 million and $18 million per year. But completing the framework would require moving out players like Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, or Dalton Connect. It might even take a third team or additional draft compensation just to get Atlanta to sign off. And Atlanta isn't just going to give Kuminga away for nothing. League insider Keith Smith reported the Hawks have very specific demands. I was told at the end of last week that the Hawks are still open to the idea of taking Jared Vanderbilt in a sign and trade, Smith said. But here's the thing. The Hawks don't want Jared Vanderbilt. The Hawks want the 3 second-round picks that the Lakers could send. Or the Hawks want the first-round swap right that the Lakers could send. So why does Los Angeles want Kuminga this badly? He's only 23 years old, entering just his 6th NBA season, and he's widely viewed as one of the most talented, high-upside forwards still available on the market. For a Lakers team trying to build a sustainable core around Luka Dončić, adding a young two-way talent like Kuminga would be a massive coup, especially given the defensive concerns we just broke down in the story above. The Lakers haven't stood still while this saga has played out either. They've continued reinforcing the roster elsewhere, most recently landing 2-time All-Defensive wing Matisse Thybulle in free agency. While it's technically still possible Kuminga returns to Atlanta, most league sources believe he's ultimately heading elsewhere this offseason. The only remaining question is which uniform he'll be wearing when the season tips off. And right now, that answer is genuinely up for grabs between 3 different franchises. In another news, Russell Westbrook finally gets the news his fans have been waiting an entire month for. An entire month of free agency. No contract, no team. And now, suddenly, Russell Westbrook's path back into the NBA might finally be clearing up. Russell Westbrook has yet to sign with an NBA team a full month into free agency. There have been rumors linking him to former teams and a handful of contenders, but nothing has actually materialized. Until now, potentially. According to the People's Insider Jake Fisher reporting in the Stein line, the Sacramento Kings, where Westbrook spent last season, are seriously weighing whether to bring him back for one more year, this time in a very specific role, mentor to rookie point guard Darius Acuff Jr. League sources say that Sacramento covets a veteran point guard to mentor prize rookie Darius Acuff Jr., and is thus now weighing the prospect of bringing back Russell Westbrook, Fisher reported, or bringing in Victor Oladipo to fill that role. The Kings selected Acuff with the number 7 overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, and the front office clearly believed surrounding him with a proven veteran presence could smooth his transition into the league. Westbrook, who's about to enter his 19th NBA season, fits that description about as well as anyone available on the market right now. Last season with Sacramento, Westbrook appeared in 64 games, averaging 15.2 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 6.7 assists in 29 minutes per outing. He led the team in assists despite a high 3.3 turnovers per game, and he actually opened the year coming off the bench before eventually working his way into the starting lineup. The Kings, though, struggled badly as a team, finishing just 22-60, which is exactly how they landed at the draft position to select Acuff in the first place. Next season, Acuff is expected to take over as the starting point guard, which means either Westbrook or Oladipo would likely shift into a bench role behind him. Beyond the numbers, Westbrook has been refreshingly honest about what he's actually looking for in his next stop. Speaking during his exit interview with the Kings back in April, he made it clear that being wanted matters just as much to him as winning. There's so many different things that have to align for you to be able to win a championship in this league, Westbrook said. But sometimes you can be in the position and it don't work out. That's it. So for me, it's just being in a place where I'm wanted, having fun, enjoying the game. To me, that's what's important. He also revealed a much bigger goal, playing at least 20 seasons in the NBA, something a 2-year deal with his next team could realistically help him accomplish. I have a bunch of people that support me in my entire career, and also a bunch that don't, Westbrook said.
I think the combination of both and of my family, who have been in my corner throughout my career since day one, allows me to be able to keep going until I can't no more. It's God willing. If the opportunity presents itself, I'll play until the end, but I'll take it year by year. Hopefully, I'll still play in 2028. Until a team officially signs him, Westbrook remains one of the most experienced, valuable names still sitting in free agency. And if Sacramento does bring him back, it would give the franchise exactly the kind of veteran stability they need as they build their future around a rookie point guard. In another news, Lakers and Mavericks have gone further than anyone realized on a PJ Washington trade. What if I told you the Lakers are closer to landing a $90 million power forward than they've ever been, and almost nobody outside the front office knew it until now? For months, the Los Angeles Lakers have circled Dallas Mavericks big man PJ Washington in trade rumors. Nothing ever felt urgent. Nothing ever felt close. Then, on August 2nd, everything changed. According to Mark Jacobs of Lakers Film Studio, the Lakers and Mavericks have entered advanced discussions involving Washington, the 6'7" forward who spent nearly 2 seasons playing alongside Luka Dončić in Dallas before the superstar was stunningly dealt to Los Angeles in February 2025. Jacobs was blunt about what he was hearing. Report: the Lakers and Mavericks have reportedly had advanced discussions involving PJ Washington. Sources say nothing is imminent, but it's a situation to watch, Jacobs wrote. Los Angeles is still bent on adding key pieces to the roster. Washington isn't just any name floating around the rumor mill. He thrived next to Dončić during Dallas's run to the 2024 NBA Finals, and his rim-running, high-flying style is viewed as a near-perfect complement to what the Slovenian superstar brings to the table. The Lakers know it, the Mavericks know it, and now, apparently, both front offices are actually talking. But here's the complication, and it's a big one. Washington is only in year 1 of a 4-year, $90 million extension. That's not pocket change, and it means any trade has to be built with precision. So how exactly could the Lakers make this work? Team insider Jovan Buha laid out what he believes the framework would have to look like. In terms of a legal trade, it would have to be Hardy and LaRavia right now at the minimum in terms of outgoing salary to salary match with PJ's contract, plus keep the Lakers under the first apron, Buha said. You could do Hardy and LaRavia plus whatever draft capital is required to make it work. I assume it would be at least 3 of LA's 4 draft assets, or you could do Jared Vanderbilt. That would also be legal. In other words, the Lakers would likely have to give up Jaden Hardy and Jake LaRavia and part with at least 3 of their 4 remaining draft picks, or alternatively, dangle Jared Vanderbilt as the centerpiece. Some reports even suggest Dalton Connect could be pulled into the mix depending on how the numbers shake out. And Washington's situation in Dallas is genuinely shifting. Sports Illustrated's Dustin Lewis pointed to the Mavericks' decision to extend forward Najee Marshall as a signal of what might be coming next. Dallas's commitment to Marshall might be a sign of what's to come for other players on the list, and veteran forward PJ Washington could very well be on borrowed time, Lewis wrote. Think about how crowded Dallas's front court has become. Cooper Flagg, the 2025 number 1 overall pick. Zachary Risache, last year's number 1 pick, acquired this summer from Atlanta. Derek Lively II, Daniel Gafford, and now Marshall locked in on a new deal. Where does that leave Washington, who's set to carry the second highest salary on the team over the next 2 seasons? On the outside looking in. With a growing crowd in the front court, Washington probably has the most trade value of any of the players the Mavericks would be willing to part ways with, Lewis added. Plus, he's due to make the second most money on the team over the next 2 seasons. Mavs reporter Austin Veazey backed that up, pointing to the extension for Marshall, the trade for Santi Aldama, and the drafting of Merez Johnson Jr. as more evidence that Washington's days in Dallas could be numbered. Questions will now surely arise about PJ Washington's future in Dallas after the Mavs extended Marshall, traded for Santi Aldama, and drafted Merez Johnson Jr. He was a key piece to the run to the finals in 2024, but he has the second highest salary on the team, Veazey wrote. For now, Marshall is locked in with the Mavericks, but they need to clear out some of this roster logjam. PJ Washington could be the odd man out. Now, it hasn't always been assumed the Lakers would even want in. Earlier this offseason, insider Kobe Price reported the front office might shy away given Washington's near $90 million price tag. But if Dallas truly decides to move on, sources suggest the Lakers would be foolish not to seriously explore it. Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus even named Washington a top priority target for Los Angeles this summer. That's the rub for the Lakers. They can add a player who helped Dončić get to the 2024 NBA Finals, but his contract may be too long for their liking, Pincus wrote. Washington, almost 28, is a 6'7" role player willing to play defense, set screens, and take the open shot. He's streaky, but shoots without hesitation when the offense calls for it. Last season, Washington averaged 14.2 points and 7 rebounds per game, and he started 53 games for a Dallas team that has clearly begun reshaping its identity. If he lands in Los Angeles, he'd immediately step in as a replacement for Rui Hachimura, who left for the Clippers in free agency, and give the Lakers a proven front court piece who already knows exactly how to play off Dončić. Nothing is signed, nothing is finalized, but for a front office that has been chasing a power forward upgrade all summer, this is the closest they've been. And if these advanced discussions keep advancing, Lakers fans could be looking at their newest starting 4 sooner than anyone expected. In another news, Lakers get concerning news amid Kuminga, Washington rumors. They spent the whole summer adding shooters, playmakers, and scorers. So why is a veteran NBA scout warning that this Lakers roster could be in serious trouble? The Los Angeles Lakers brought in 9 new players this offseason, and on paper, the roster looks loaded with offensive weapons. But according to one NBA scout who spoke with Spotrack's Keith Smith, there's a glaring problem that new head coach JJ Redick may not be able to fix: defense.
The Lakers finished 16th in defensive rating last season after hovering in the mid-20s for much of the year. And based on what this scout is seeing, a repeat performance might be the best case scenario. Well, there's certainly a lot of offense, the scout said of the revamped roster, and I think it's offense that all fits together pretty well. They have way more shooting this year than last year, more off-the-dribble creation too. They should be a really good passing team also. Then came the warning. Defensively, well, they'll score a lot of points. If JJ Redick can get this group in the top 20 on defense,
Give him coach of the year because they'll probably be awesome. Read that again. A neutral evaluator is essentially saying this team's offense could be historically fun to watch and its defense could be historically bad. That's exactly why the front office remains engaged on trades for PJ Washington and free agent forward Jonathan Kuminga, two names who could inject real two-way ability into a group that desperately needs it. Look at the additions the Lakers made this summer. Quentin Grimes, Colin Sexton, and Jaden Hardy. All three can score. All three can create. None of them are known as plus defenders. And that concern only grows when you consider that stars Luka Dončić and Austin Reeves have never been viewed as lockdown perimeter defenders either. Not everyone in the building shares the scouts' pessimism though. A Lakers assistant coach pushed back, specifically defending Grimes and explaining how Sexton changes the pace of the offense. We needed more backcourt and wing depth, the assistant said. Of all the great things about Luka, one of the best is his versatility. He can play 1 to 4. That means you can play all kinds of guys with him. Colin will help us speed things up a bit. He's pretty good at getting the ball and going. Quentin gives us another offensive weapon both on and off ball, and he's a better defender than he gets credit for. Colin can also heat up the ball in the backcourt with pressure too. Still, the numbers on paper are the numbers on paper. As of this writing, the Lakers have 16 players under contract, one over the standard limit, and that roster crunch could shrink fast if a Kuminga sign and trade or Washington deal comes together. In either scenario, Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Connect are expected to be the most likely names heading out the door. The front office clearly hears the concern. The question is whether they can find enough two-way talent before opening night to keep this from becoming a real problem in the standings. In another news, the Lakers could get a second chance at a 5-time All-Star who once chose Dallas over Los Angeles. 2 years ago, he broke Lakers fans' hearts by picking Dallas instead.
Now, the tables have completely turned, and Los Angeles might finally get the do-over nobody saw coming. The Los Angeles Lakers haven't been directly linked to the Dallas Mavericks' effort to sort out Klay Thompson's murky future, but according to a new report, they wouldn't need much convincing to jump in if the 5-time All-Star actually becomes available. California Post's Ryan Anderson identified Thompson as a natural fit for Los Angeles, given the team's ongoing need for reliable outside shooting around Luka Dončić. The Athletic previously reported that Thompson himself would welcome a return to Los Angeles, where he spent part of his childhood and still owns a home to this day. For now, this is a logical connection rather than an active pursuit. Dallas has preferred exploring a trade over negotiating a buyout, and the Lakers haven't entered any real discussions yet. But the backstory here makes this rumor hit differently for longtime fans. Rewind to 2024. When Thompson's legendary 13-year run with the Golden State Warriors ended, the Lakers aggressively pursued him, reportedly discussing a 4-year deal worth roughly $80 million. Instead, Thompson chose a 3-year, $50 million contract with Dallas, believing the reigning Western Conference champions gave him a clearer path to another title, playing alongside Dončić and Kyrie Irving. That vision collapsed almost instantly when Dallas shockingly traded Dončić to the Lakers in February 2025. Thompson's decision to snub Los Angeles even disappointed his own father, former Lakers center and current radio analyst Michael Thompson. It was close, Michael said at the time, according to ESPN, revealing he had personally tried to convince his son to come home and play for the franchise he grew up rooting for. Klay ultimately chose Dallas, but the family's connection to Los Angeles never went away, and neither did the basketball logic behind a potential reunion.
Thompson is no longer the elite two-way force who helped Golden State capture 4 championships, but he remains one of the most feared shooters of his generation, connecting on 38.7% of his three-point attempts across 2 seasons in Dallas. His chemistry with Dončić is already built in. He understands exactly how to relocate and find open space the moment Dončić draws a second or third defender. Dallas's direction has clearly shifted under President Masai Ujiri. After winning just 26 games last season, the Mavericks are now rebuilding around Cooper Flagg, Sergio De La Reyna, and former number 1 pick Zachary Rissacher.
The Stein Line's Mark Stein reported that Thompson is among the veterans Dallas has been most open to moving. Complicating things is Thompson's $17.5 million salary in the final year of his deal, which makes a trade tougher to engineer than a simple post-buyout free agent signing. The Lakers would have to weigh his shooting against his age, his declining defense, and the cost of matching salary in any trade framework. A buyout route would be far simpler, but it would also open the door to plenty of other contenders. There's no deal here, not yet, but there is a familiar shooter, an obvious fit, and unfinished business connecting one of basketball's greatest shooters back to Los Angeles. If Dallas finally lets him go, the Lakers' interest wouldn't be a surprise. It would feel like fate finishing what it started 2 years ago. In another news, Anthony Davis just fired back at claims about his relationship with LeBron James, and his response says everything. For years, rumors have quietly followed Anthony Davis and LeBron James about what really happened behind closed doors. Now Davis has broken his silence, and it wasn't with a statement. It was with one single emoji. Anthony Davis and LeBron James played together on the Los Angeles Lakers from 2019 to 2025, capturing a championship in the bubble in 2020 and building one of the most talented duos in franchise history. But ever since Davis was traded for Luka Dončić in February 2025, rumors have quietly persisted that the two superstars didn't always see eye to eye, and a former Lakers assistant just poured gasoline on the fire. Speaking on Sirius XM radio, former NBA player and coach Lionel Hollins, who served on the Lakers coaching staff from 2019 to 2021, claimed the duo rarely trained together during their time in Los Angeles, suggesting Davis simply didn't want to wake up early enough to join James in the gym. A D comes into the weight room in the morning and he said, "Bron, you said if I came here, we were going to work out together," Hollins said.
Bron said, "You got to wake up earlier if you want to come work with me." It was a true statement because LeBron is a morning person. AD was hugging that pillow a bit. That quote spread fast across social media, and Davis, now with the Washington Wizards, didn't let it slide. His response? A single cap emoji, internet shorthand for calling something a lie, directed straight at Hollins. No lengthy statement, no interview, just a 2-second reply that instantly told fans exactly how Davis felt about the story being pushed into the world. The two stars actually share a much deeper history than a viral radio clip would suggest. James and Davis had a close relationship dating back to before the trade that brought Davis to Los Angeles from New Orleans in 2019. And by all accounts, that bond has remained intact even with both players now on different rosters. Online chatter has claimed James signed off on the Lakers, eventually trading his close friend for Dončić. But there's no real evidence to support that theory, and Hollins' version of events has no independent confirmation either. Since that Blockbuster trade, both stars have taken very different paths. Davis played an injury-plagued season in Dallas before being moved again, this time to the Wizards at the 2025 deadline. James, meanwhile, stayed in Los Angeles and played a full season alongside Dončić and Austin Reeves, gradually shifting into a third option role behind the two younger stars.
Then came this summer's biggest surprise. After entering free agency and fueling months of speculation about his future, James ultimately chose to leave the Lakers behind and sign with the Philadelphia 76ers. There had even been reports connecting James and Davis to a potential reunion with the Golden State Warriors, along with a few other cities, but nothing ever materialized. There have also been reports that Davis has personally discussed the idea of eventually playing alongside James again, this time in Washington, though nothing concrete has come from those conversations either. For now, Davis remains at the center of trade rumors with an uncertain future in DC, while James prepares to close out a historic 24-plus year career in Philadelphia, chasing one more championship. Whatever tension existed or didn't between the two stars, one thing is clear. Davis wanted the world to know Hollins' version wasn't the full story. Thanks for watching Lakers Motion. If you enjoyed today's Lakers update, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss breaking Lakers news. We'll be back with more updates as soon as they happen. Go Lakers.